Hey, good people. This is Rocki with Rocki's Reality, the #1 podcast for unfiltered and unapologetic culture, entertainment, and relationships. Tap in live Thursdays, 7 to 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, as I chat with some of the dopest artists, celebrities, influencers, entrepreneurs, and more. Make sure to catch us live Thursdays, 7 to 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Facebook, YouTube, and Roku. See you soon. Welcome to Rocki's Reality. Once again, I got to shout out Joe for keeping me together. Right, give yourself a hand. Round of applause, round of applause. Halfway almost through the year. It's June. It was just December. Seems like the older we get, the faster time pass.
Yeah.
So welcome to Rocki's Reality. And tonight we are continuing with Black Music Month. We have a special guest, well, a welcome guest, a former guest, I should say, a past guest. You've been here about 3 times now.
Yeah, this is my third time.
Yeah, Courtney is like a friend of the show. So Courtney Benjamin.
Yeah.
Y'all don't know. Y'all better find out. You better get hip to Courtney. But Courtney Benjamin, for nearly 20 years, has been on a mission to create a culture of business-minded music creatives. He's been the middle and behind-the-scenes man for many artists. Expertise in publishing has gained him exposure in bringing in over $50,000, and probably more by now. It's probably a little bit more in back and unclaimed royalties for artists such as Calvin Simon, Big Proof, Rakim, KRS-One, Michael Jackson's estate, Janet Jackson, Jermaine Jackson, and more. Has landed numerous TV and commercial spots. So I'm not gonna read the whole thing, y'all, because y'all know I don't do the whole thing. But he educates artists. He is a professional member of the Recording Academy, which is the academy that is the head of the Grammys, you all. He's also part of the National Music Publishers Association. So welcome to the show, Courtney, or welcome back.
Thank you.
I should say.
Honored to be back.
I love it. And I really appreciate you for all your assistance and support. We met through Beth Griffith Manley. So shout out to Beth. I miss her. I wonder how she's doing. I know she out there on the road. Touring with Kim, right?
Yeah. She got her own show coming.
And just shameless plug, make sure y'all get her album, Get to Know Me. Make sure y'all get to know Beth. But who else is it? It was another artist you had. Or who's currently on your roster? Let me start with that besides Beth.
Okay, who's currently on my roster now for management is Beth, Dodie, my wife Christina Benjamin, Toot St. Louis, hip hop artist out in North Carolina, and working with John too from Troops.
Okay. You were talking to me about him, and I definitely want to explore what he's doing and what he's getting into. And Troop was definitely one of my favorite groups from the 90s, the early 90s. That's when, Video Soul, Video LP was on them the BET days.
Yeah.
So shout out to them. But welcome again, Courtney. So, but it's saying you a manager is just like, I think that is just like not saying enough. Because you do so much.
Yeah.
And you have just like a wealth of knowledge. You remind me of the guy who wrote the book on the music business years ago, and I forgot his name. It was like everything you need to know about the music business. I'm trying to remember the name of the book. Yeah, it was like it was like a big old guy book. I want to say he wrote it back in the 90s.
Yeah, he got like 7 editions now.
Yes. And so you remind me that whenever I see Courtney, and I love how Courtney, my fellow Aries, stands on business about the music business, and how a lot of people don't realize, it's really only about maybe 5% talent, and the rest of it is the business of it. And a lot of these creatives, we see so many stories about, they lost money, they went bankrupt, and all of this stuff, and it's because they're not educated. It's all about the glitz and the glam, and especially now, we're gonna talk about how social media has just eclipsed the industry pretty much, because we come from the days where we had to go to the store, the real store. We had to wait. We had to wait on it was release day used to be Tuesday, y'all. By
Yeah.
the way, little music history, not Fridays. Used to be Tuesdays. We will be at Sam Goody Music Land, Tower Records,
Mhm.
Media Play, all of those stores waiting for stuff to come out. So you definitely been here for the evolution
Yeah.
of the music business. So I'm probably asked you this years ago when you were on the show, but just as a refresher, how did you get into this?
Well, I got into it because my wife wanted to sing. You know, she was touring with stage plays and things like that. So they kept asking her why she don't have a CD out. So I was like, well, she came home and she was like, hey, I want to sing. Everybody keep asking me for a CD. I was like, okay, bet. You know, and then I was trying to shop her to different labels and stuff like that, but she ain't had no product. I kept getting mad because they was telling me no. But then now that
No
I got
product. So you saying she didn't have a demo at the
she had
time?
no demo, no.
Okay. So you was just like,
No.
my wife can
I
sing.
was like, hey, look, my wife can sing. Y'all need to believe in her. You know what I'm saying? I was,
And she fine too.
yeah, you know what I'm
They
saying?
like,
I was like, look,
okay.
I'm telling you, she got the look, blah, blah, blah. They didn't care.
Right.
Like, where's the product?
Right.
And I was like, well, you know what? We ain't got no product, you know. But now I get it. Since I've been in the business long enough now, I get it. But those no's built up the the unction in me to be like, okay, I'm gonna start my own then. Since y'all gonna tell me no, so I started my label. She was my first artist.
Benjamin Entertainment.
Yep, Benjamin Entertainment Group.
Okay.
And then the rest was history from there.
Okay. So she was so. How was that like managing your wife though? What is that like?
It was cool.
Because we mixing business with pleasure. So how's that? Because I know, like, with being like we partners too. Because I mean, marriage is a partnership, definitely.
It is.
But sometimes when you have some creative differences, as we like to we could call them. Well, how do y'all manage that?
So we keep a clear communication because like what we've grown over the years, we've been together. We'd be married 20 years next year. So
Oh wow.
so it's like, you know, just keeping that communication open because I'm telling you, she was hard headed at first, like all other artists. You know what I'm saying? but the blessing behind it is she listened and she hasn't released anything in a while, you know, and she's still
because she does hair, right? Doesn't she have and she specializes.
Yes, and
Yeah.
she specializes in short hair and helping with women with alopecia.
Yeah.
So, but her music is still bumping and kicking. You know,
Mm-hmm.
she's still getting royalty checks and not even in the music right now. So she listened. We got everything together. You know what I'm saying? We got everything set up for our children because the music is going to outlive every artist.
Mm-hmm.
So we make sure that everything's set up to be transferred over to our children when something happens to us.
I love how you say it's going to outlive us because the music is going to outlive us because that's what we're seeing with artists like Michael Jackson, Prince,
Mm-hmm.
James Brown. These people, their music is still living on and causing a legacy. Like Michael Jackson's Thriller is still on Billboard charts. Still charting. Okay. Still charting, by the way. So who have been some of your role models? Like, how did you learn what you needed to do?
So I honestly was matter of fact, I'll say this. Swifty McVeigh was the first person that sat down and was like, hey man, this is what you need to do to get your music out there. Because I didn't know nothing about no iTunes and nothing. He had introduced me to TuneCore and all of that. And then from there he introduced me to Maestro from Silent Riot. So I learned a lot from Maestro, from Swift, and shoot, I would even book time with lawyers. You know, like Howard Hertz. You know, his whole firm, you know, he's been a blessing to me. It's been a couple other attorneys that I sat down with and they just gave me some game. You know, some of them charged me, some of them didn't. You know, it was just saw the hunger in me.
Right, exactly. I was just about to say when people see that you had that hunger, and I'm not mad at people for charging because you know you can only what is it? What's the term? You can only what is it? Oh my gosh. What I'm trying to say when people say I want to tap your brain or I want to
pick my brain, that's French.
Right, I want to pick your brain. Yeah, you can only pick for so long. But when people see that eagerness in you, I think that makes them help you as well.
Yeah, and they saw me actually doing stuff with what they were telling me to do. Because like a lot of times these people be wanting free information.
And do you implement it?
Yeah.
Do you implement it?
Mm-hmm.
Right. And so for you, what are some things you learned along the way? Because I'm sure it's been some mistakes as well. Because this business, and then it's so finicky.
Yeah.
So you might be thinking you're doing something the right way, and then it turn out and it be
Yeah.
totally something a different way by the time you're trying to execute it. So how have you handled that?
Shoot, I handled it by learning fast. You know, and that's one thing that I learned working when I was working at 9 to 5 at General Motors is like I had to learn quick. So like I implement that with my businesses now. So
Mm-hmm.
you know that's what helped me because I remember Face was with us one time. I think we were booked. I forgot where we were booked at, but I didn't send the rider over for the food, and everybody
Ooh,
all the artists
oh Lord, you know they
everybody was
hungry.
eating. Everybody was eating but us and Beth. I was like, oh, they was like, well, we ain't get no rider, and I was like, oh man, dang.
Okay, and so while we're talking, let's educate people and welcome Face. It's just Face?
Face.
Okay, because I'm about to say, is that New Face? Because I know it's a guy named New Face.
Yeah, New Face out in Atlanta.
Is a guy in the industry too.
Yeah.
Let's explain what a rider is, because I want to break down some of these terms in layman terms for people who don't realize what that means. Like, what does a rider mean?
Okay, so a rider is pretty much it's gonna have like what you want in your dressing room. It's gonna say, okay, I want a well lit dressing room with a long mirror so you can check yourself out. You may want a steamer in there. Then the band members they may you want to see you want to have their type of food that they want. If you need towels for if you're sweating, waters, what type of water you want. Then you have the tech rider that's in there that has all of your tech details. So if you want a stool with a microphone, and it just tells like your setup. So if you got the drummer on the right side, keyboards on the left, however, you put that diagram in there.
No, it's real detail. Because I've seen some writers where they like only red Skittles and all of this mess. It got to be vegan, cheese, and
no cheese. Everything got to be wrapped up.
Yeah,
and then also like how many comp tickets that we need and where they need to be in the front row. It's all kind of stuff you put in your rider. It's just all about what you need to get your show to be.
Yeah, and that's what I want to ask. A lot of times with these concerts, how do you all allot? Okay, we're gonna have this many comp tickets, or because I know when I've asked for media passes, they'll say, okay, we have to check to see how many tickets we got. We'll let you know. Sometimes they've had to, or I know they allot a certain amount. Like, how is it different every show, or is it a standard when it comes to that?
It's different every show because like some shows we get 10. Because that's what's on our rider 10, but they'll mark it up. They have no problem with marking it up and be like, well, no, I ain't gonna be able to give you 10 tickets. We'll just do like 5 for this show. So yeah, it get real deep, and it all depends on too, what sections are sold. Because like it's like a gold area, then it's it's real broken down, like real crazy with the promoters.
Okay. So let's go into this first clip with the one with Sir Mix-a-Lot. Because I found this interesting. I was like, oh, there is a distinction between royalties and publishing.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so because I want us to, when we come back, we'll discuss it a little bit more. But Joe, let's go into that clip where Sir Mix-a-Lot, and see, this is probably why Sir Mix-a-Lot is good, even though because Baby got back in Posse on Broadway, he ain't really made too much. I mean, put him on the glass, he did, but still, I think he's still living off.
Oh, he living good.
Yeah, he chilling. That's why we ain't had to worry about him. Yeah. So, okay, let's go ahead and watch this clip.
So explain, to people who don't understand how publishing works and why you keep getting paid from a hit song that came out 20 years ago.
Well, yeah, I'm glad you asked that question because a lot of people underestimate publishing. I mean, when an artist is at their peak, including myself, when I was at my peak, the royalty check was everything. And that was, every 6 months you got this big lump of money from the label for records sold, and that's all you paid attention to. But publishing is a little bit different in the way it works. It's consistent, it's long money, especially if you keep your song out there, if you work it. It's not just the BMI ASCAP side. That's usually all people look at. They look at the BMI and ASCAP checks, and that comes from plays. You get plays on radio, plays on video, and they collect for you. That's cool, and that can be good money. But more importantly, there are mechanicals. For every time that song sells, you are supposed to get a mechanical share. So if let's just hypothetically say it's 10 cents. I know it's lower than 10 cents, but let's say it's 10 cents per song, up to 10 songs on an album. They prorate it after that, up to 10 songs on a record, and Baby Got Back is one of those songs. So that 10 cent, half of that 10 cent goes to whoever did the music, the other half goes to whoever did the writing, the lyrics. And I maintain both sides of it on probably 98% of all my songs. And that's how it worked for me. Really, it's just trying to get it done. Of course, you get people come out the woodwork that want to get checks because I was in the studio with you, bro. What are you talking about? I handed you the pen you wrote that with. But other than that, I mean, that's how it works. And it is something that even myself, I underestimated early on. We got a big publishing deal early on. It was a big check. I went out, I spent the check fast. I ain't gonna lie to you. I was stupid and young. Then I realized, wait a minute, it behooves me to go out and earn this capital back. At the time I was dealing with Polygram, because if you bust your ass to get Polygram that money back and you recoup, you start collecting. Now, let's say you own your own publishing and you try to collect yourself. Who's going to take me serious when I go, this is Mix-a-Lot calling, I need my money? Please, get somebody real to call. So I realized that earning that money back became important. And every deal I've entered into, every single one to date, I've recouped over 100% and made money again. Because, I mean, the Pussycat Dolls, here's another perfect example. When I did the song Swass, I never thought it was going to be anything. And when the Pussycat Dolls did Don't Ya, which is Swass, I wasn't combative. When CeeLo called and when Notting Hill called and said, we want to work this out, get this Pussycat Dolls song. The Pussycat Dolls were already at $500,000. So why would I come out and say I'm going to sue somebody? That's stupid. That's dumb business. It looks good on television, but it's dumb business. So what I decided to do was work with Notting Hill. Pussycat Dolls kept on cruising and they made their money. That's how you leverage your publishing. It's important to understand it's still business. Some people just protect their songs with it. I'm not saying no names. Some of my favorite artists sit on their songs for their whole career and tell you can't touch it. Then they go broke. That's not how you use publishing.
Ooh. Okay. So let's layman terms. What's the difference between publishing and royalties?
Well, publishing is royalties, but there's a difference between the master royalty and the publishing royalty. So the master side is the sound recording, which is like the master, what you hear on the radio, what you hear, all of that. But the publishing side is all of the writing. That's the real estate of the game. So like for as long as the life of that song or whatever, you will always get that. And that's like the composition part where let's say like let's just say like with the publishing side, you will get mechanical royalties, and there's digital mechanical royalties, and then there's physical mechanical royalties. So that the physical mechanical royalties you get from like a Harry Fox, the digital mechanical royalties you get from like MLC, and they're doing their thing, because like they're going back all the way from, I think they're at 2013 now, getting all the back royalties from the all the streaming services that weren't paying mechanicals. So like we're getting big checks now, you know what I'm saying, from all of that.
And who is Harry Fox? Those are
Harry Fox. They handle the digital.
They're like a firm,
they
organization.
They handle the hard copies. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Not the digital. Digital is mechanical. MLC, the mechanical licensing.
Okay.
So the MLC, they're collecting all of that, and then on top of that, you get lyrics. So like when you see your songs displaying lyrics on like Spotify, on your TV, anything like that, you get paid for that. That's just like your lyrics being inside of a getting licensed for a book. So you get monetization off of all your lyrics every time somebody pull that up.
What about when they post it in their stories?
When they post it in their stories, you get a royalty off of that as well.
So who keeps track of that? Is that where BMI and ASCAP comes in? Like how? Okay, what keeps track? How do we know somebody done played it in Timbuktu or California or Arizona? How do we know?
So like they keep track of it through the distribution company. And then what happens is you have to go to that distribution company too, and then make sure that they're doing their job as well. You can audit them as well too, and then you get a master and a publishing royalty off of that. So all they got to do is play it at least, I think it's like 15 seconds or something like that. It could be a little bit lower than that, but as long as they play it that long, you get paid off of it.
Okay, so what? So do I have to register? What if I'm an independent artist and I don't have a big company behind me? Do I have to do that legwork to get it registered so it can?
So what you do is you if you're independent, you're going through like a DistroKid or a TuneCore, and then say you're with your writer side, you're with BMI or ASCAP or something like that. So all you would have to do is just make sure that the song is registered in BMI or ASCAP to get your publishing royalties. But the master side, just with your distribution company and just being on top of it, just keeping track of your stuff, because it tells you how many videos have your song. You know what I'm saying? If you click on the song, it'll say like, okay, 200,000 reels have been playing. And the thing, even with like YouTube, you get publishing off of that as well. But the thing about that is, it's like every quarter. So like, say you got 100,000 quarter one, it doesn't carry over until the second quarter. Like, say you at like 200,000 by the time the second quarter come. So you already got paid for that 100,000. So you get paid for a new 100,000 the second quarter. And when you're performing, you get a performance royalty through BMI, ASCAP, or CSAC.
So you get the money from the tour, from doing a show, and royalty from BMI.
Yeah, because you're performing the song. So you go to BMI Live or ASCAP on stage, and they pay that performance royalty for you doing your live show, and all your writers get paid for that. You know what I'm saying? And then what's the other royalty? In radio, any performance, like, and then when you start getting sync, you get like, say if you get $10,000 for a sync, you get 5,000 go to the master side, and that's the record label or the artist, and the other 5,000 goes to the publishing, and they're split between all the writers.
Okay, publishers. So I'm glad you said sync, because that's one of the terms I wanted to ask about. Define in layman's terms what we mean by sync.
Sync is just pretty much like somebody licensing your music for video and and combining it with the visual. That's all.
Okay, so that's the same as like if a song is in a movie or something like that.
Sync.
So is that different from a placement? Is that
no? That's the
same thing.
Yeah, but it could be an artist placement too, to where you pitch the song to an artist, and then that's a placement as well too. But as far as like TV, film, and like commercials, that's sync placements.
Okay.
Yeah.
I love it. Okay, interesting. So if I'm an artist, what are the first 5 steps you would tell me to get myself together? I need to get my shit together as an artist. I need to get legit. Yeah. What are my first 5 steps?
Your first thing is to find out if you're actually serious about this thing. Because if you want it to be a hobby, just do it as a hobby. Don't ask nobody about nothing or for nothing. You know what I mean? Start your business. Make sure you incorporate once you see that you actually really gonna do this thing. Incorporate, and once you incorporate, get you 5 different bank accounts. Because
incorporate my name as an artist?
No, whatever you want your label to be, or entertainment company.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Because the thing is, you want to separate your liabilities, because the way this internet and these people moving now, everybody's gonna get sued, but they just waiting for you to get a lump sum of money. Just like the young man that was sitting up there talking about, I'm gonna use this song. I don't care.
Yeah. I saw it on your Instagram.
TikTok.
Yeah.
And he got, I think he sued like what was it, 800 or 80 million or something like that.
Ooh.
They got him good. Yeah. So
so be serious about it and get incorporated and open 5 bank accounts.
Yeah, 5 bank accounts. Because one, you want to make sure that you have an income account. Then you want to make sure that you have a tax account. Then you want a profit account, and then you want a like a owner's compensation account and an expense account.
Damn.
So like, the reason I'm saying that is because you're telling your money where to go. You're training your mind to have some good habits. So when that $10,000 check come in from a show, that all that money is not yours. So what you do is you take that 10,000 and then you put at least about maybe 30 to about maybe 40, 50% into the tax account, because the IRS coming for theirs.
Yeah.
And you let that just sit. So the rest of it you put into your expense account, or you divide it up, and then put enough in your expense account to cover your band, your travel, all of that stuff. So, and with the owner compensation, you want to make sure that you have a little something there. So like, if you want to make some investments, or even with the profit account, you can make investments off of that. So if you want to buy like a music catalog, now you got money saved up in your profit account, you be like, okay, I can invest some money and bring some money back into the company.
So we saying a music catalog, is that someone's masters?
Well, it's their masters or their publishing.
Okay.
Because you can actually buy that.
Okay.
Buy the
Okay.
rights to it.
Okay. So make sure I'm serious about it. Get incorporated. Open up my bank accounts. What's the last two?
Last two is register your works. Don't just sign up for Sound Exchange. Don't just sign up for MLC. Don't just sign up for Harry Fox. Don't just sign up for BMI, ASCAP, or CSAC. All of them. Register
I
the
thought that
works.
was registering the works.
Mm-mm.
The BMI and ASCAP. So
No,
it's a whole separate process.
It's a whole separate process.
Oh Lord.
You got to register all that stuff. And
With who?
With each one of those individually. You know,
Lord.
if you with BMI, you know, make sure that you go to BMI and register the works from and the splits are from whatever you have on the split sheet, whatever y'all agreed to in the studio.
What if y'all ain't agreed to nothing?
If y'all ain't agreed to nothing, it's 50-50.
Because I'm just saying, like, a lot of times probably people be in the studio. I mean,
Yeah.
are y'all really talking about, oh yeah, you gonna get this?
And that's
You gonna get this amount when I mean,
and that's the thing too. Like a lot of people be saying like, "Oh, you doing too much? You doing too much this and that," and try to deter them from doing it so they could do it themselves and go behind your back. So make sure that this stuff is registered, and because like some of these artists, man, like they'll sit up there and get a record deal, and then like the record label will be like, "Hey, I need all the writers' information." They'll get all the writers' information, and then that artist not only gonna care about all the writers that's supposedly their friends, and don't even care about if they getting paid or not. And then come like I even did a Instagram thing the other day. Song was #1 on the Billboard charts. Song still ain't registered. It's been over a year. All them songwriters ain't get paid nothing, but they supposed to be your friends. You know what I'm saying?
So can they come back and get some recourse from that?
Yeah, they can. But if they don't know and not paying attention, it just keep on being swept under the rug.
So is that why it seems? And I don't know if this is true that writers get more than the like. Does that gives you leverage when you are one of the writers? It gives more so than just performing the song.
It's the copyright. Whoever owns the copyright is the one that has the leverage. That's the deed to everything. So like that's your digital real estate. So if you got the copyright, you got some leverage. But it's like it's even some instance where songwriters don't even get taken care of the right way. So it's like we be having to go after people.
Is there a union?
Yeah, there's there just now is getting ready to be formed one. Tiffany is doing her thing, getting together you know, some stuff for the songwriters. So
okay. Yeah. Good evening to everyone watching.
What's happening?
Okay. That's a lot.
Yeah, it is. It is.
My brain will hurt as an artist. So as a manager, what do you say when you like, what is your portion that you get from the artist for managing, for having to keep up with all of that? Like, is it a certain portion you receive?
Yeah, I get 20%. 20%.
That's a standard.
Yeah, that's a standard. That's
okay.
a standard. Yeah, fits anywhere between 15 to 20%. And then the crazy thing is like the manager is always the most unappreciated, looked over, trying to get over on portion of the situation. Because like sometimes we even go like 2 years without getting a check. That's fact.
Oh hell no.
You know what I'm saying? Because like yeah,
man. House sway. Yeah, that need a sound effect, Joe. I'm like, what? 2 years. Now 2 months is long enough. Shit.
Yeah.
2 months. Because when I write an article sometime and they like it's net 60, I'm like, oh my God. Yeah. Sometimes I be done forgot I did the shit. But I have to put it on my calendar like this. I'm supposed to be getting paid. Like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Courtney.
I'm telling you, man.
Listen, I'm feeling some five heartbeats energy. Like I'm gonna hang you over a balcony. Like I'm sorry, you ain't gonna take 2 years to give me my money.
Yeah. No, it ain't happened to me for no 2 years. You know what I'm saying? But
you done seen it.
I done seen it happen though.
2 years. And that's a long time,
man.
That's a long time.
It's crazy, and this the crazy thing about it too is like managers. Like we help in negotiation for record deals. We help in let me see what else. Like managing the project when it come out, Blase Splee or whatever. And then you will have
getting your artists in Times Square.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And then you'll have an artist that'll sit up there and try to cut you out of the whole record deal. They'll try to cut you out the record deal. They'll try to be like, hey, make sure you know that they don't get a piece of what, because they didn't bring this to the table. But who's managing it when you start when it start coming around? Who's sitting up there on the phone with the CEO, the attorney, and all of that stuff? All them days, all them nights,
right,
bugging me.
It's not 9 to 5, right?
You did. So
Listen, see, that's why I'm feeling big red energy
Hey.
hanging you over this balcony for real.
yeah,
Because you're not about to play about my money. That's crazy.
for real.
All the hard work. But that's what people, I think as creatives, period, people don't realize
Yeah.
the stuff we do behind the scenes.
Facts,
Like
they
as a
don't.
publicist, I'm seeing that. And even as a writer, I've seen that how people do not realize the time and
Mhm.
dedication and work,
Heck
the,
yeah.
the tedious work that it takes to get into that. So I want to, and we're gonna go to this question. I saw someone's asking, what happens if your music was stolen? How can you claim rights?
Sure, if it was stolen and you can prove it, all you got to do is have that copyright. Copyright at copyright.gov. F all that poor man's copyright. Copyright.gov is what's going to hold out in court. Take them to court. Don't be scared. I learned this from
What if I didn't do that though?
if you
Yeah,
if,
what if I didn't go to copyright.gov? What if
if
I
you
didn't
ain't
get
go
it
to
copyrighted?
if you ain't
And
go
I
to
know they stole my
copyright.gov,
shit.
I'm sorry. It's going to be rough.
So
You know,
I need to, that's why I need to handle the business.
you need to handle the business because like it's even a young lady that's out here teaching feature artists. If the main artist don't copyright it, y'all do the copyright and then y'all own the song.
If we did a duet
Mm-hmm.
and you just did a little bit of duet, a little bit of feature on my song,
Yep.
I can come and try to claim your song.
That's what she was teaching. She was like,
Ooh.
well, if they don't know their business, you know yours. Now you get paid. You get paid off of it.
This
It's a dirty
sheds light
business.
on why people fade to black.
Yeah.
That's why people be fading to black and don't be wanting to be bothered with the bullshit.
Yeah.
Because that's crazy. So explain to me BMI and ASCAP. Like, what do they do? Like, what?
They collect all of your performance royalties. So
Okay. And
anytime-
they the same type of,
yeah, they
they
the
just
same,
two different
just two different
brands,
lanes. Yeah.
pretty
Now
much. Okay.
now BMI is for profit, and all the rest of them are non-profits. But BMI used to be a non-profit. So
Okay. Okay. So what do we mean by stuff like Q sheet
Mhm.
and metadata? Like some of those terms.
yeah, a Q sheet is how you get paid from sync. So like on a Q sheet, it'll have all the writers, it'll have the name of the song, how long it was played, what it was used for, how long it was used, and that's how you get paid. It could be a background, it could be a trailer, all of that. So if that's not turned into BMI, ASCAP, or CSEC, your back end royalties will not be received. So you got to make sure. You can even call BMI and say, hey, look, my music was in Bad Boys 4. Can you see if the Q sheet was turned in? They'll put you on hold for about 5-10 minutes, look it up and say, hey, we haven't received it. So if you can reach out to the production company,
I was about to say, who's supposed to turn in the Q sheet?
Production company. Yeah.
Woo.
Yeah, because
That's a
I
lot.
didn't even went after a lot of Tubi movies. And had movies in
Listen.
there.
We was talking, me and Karita was talking about this. Karita Miller.
Yeah.
We was talking about this. She was like, how so many Tubi folks, y'all out there cutting up Tubi.
Heck
Nah,
yeah.
we know y'all be putting these movies out, but y'all got to get this stuff cleared.
Heck yeah.
So let's talk about it. Oh, I'm sorry, metadata. What does that mean?
Metadata is pretty much just saying, okay, this is your ISRC code that's attached to it. And ISRC code is like a thumbprint for each individual song.
Okay.
So you put that in there. You put your name, your splits. You can put that in your real name, and then your artist name, the title of the song, and all of that. So when you submit to a music supervisor and they put it in Apple or something like that, it don't just say track 1, track 2, or artist,
right, got you.
So yeah, it's all the data that goes in the inside.
Got you. Because I'm learning. Because I was sent Damon Fletcher, which actually he'll be here next week. Damon Fletcher, I sent his information to Karita, and she was like, "I need an ISR." I'm like, what? So I'm texting like, "What does this mean?" I'm googling like, "Lord, what does this mean?"
Yeah.
So wait a minute, Karan, or sorry if I'm mispronouncing it, is asking, "Poor man's copyrights don't hold up in court." What is poor man's copyright?
Poor man's copyright is like I'll copyright my lyrics and then I'll mail it back to myself. That don't hold out in court.
Mm-hmm.
So like copyright,
it ain't no DIY. You can't do it yourself. That's like kind of half-ass.
No, because like even the crazy thing about it, copyright is like when you finish doing the project, your copyright it's copywritten right then and there. But for it to like hold out in court and for you to be like, okay, this is mine or whatever, because like I'll just put it through because I done been through enough lawsuits to where I done sued so many people. So it's like what happens is when you go to court, what's gonna happen is the musicologist is gonna come in. they're gonna say, okay, well, yeah, this song does sound alike. It's very, very familiar. And then they're gonna see, how did this person get point of access to it? So like what happened with one situation was, this dude just took our whole song. And yeah, he changed, the name was almost similar and everything. But he thought because the guy was an independent artist, he didn't take care of business. So we ended up suing him, and we got all of our mechanical royalties for I think 3 years. Plus he had to pay us you know, and then we're on the song, on his song and on our song, because he used our portion or whatever. So
similar to what happened to Robin Thicke.
Pretty much, yeah.
With the Marvin Gaye thing. It was like, ooh.
Yeah.
Man, it seemed like somebody like that you would know better though, Robin. You know what I'm saying? Like, because I was really surprised by that. Like, because he's not new to the game. Like, Robin Thicke had been in the game. But like, I remember Robin Thicke when he had long hair, okay? So I was really, right. And yeah, I was really surprised by that. Like, it seemed like you would know better.
But you know what though? It's sometimes it's the producer, and then they try to be like, hey, I'm gonna slow this down, and it's not, you know, it don't, you know, I got to slow down enough, or I redid it or something like that. And then you still got to get it in, what's it called? Interpolation or something like that. You still got to get permission. You know what I mean?
Interpolation.
Interpolate.
Interpolate. Yeah.
Yep. And if you don't get the permission, you know, there's repercussions from it.
Right. Because it's a difference between a sample and an interpolate. It's some slight differences, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. And yeah. Wow. This is a lot.
Yeah, don't do that poor man copyright.
Don't do it. Copyright.gov.
Copyright.gov.
Okay. So while we're speaking of that, what are some resources and tools that you use to help you do your job, Courtney? How do you stay up on the industry buzz? How do you know this is the newest this procedure? This is the newest that. This is what's happening. How do you stay up on that? What are some resources you use?
I read a lot of books. Donald Passman, for one. Every time he have a new edition come out,
Donald Passman.
Okay. Yeah, and that's all you need to know about the music business.
Yeah.
Then I read Verity magazines.
Verity,
Hollywood, VARIT. Yeah. Something like that. VARI.
Okay.
Church.
Y'all Google it. You know
what I'm saying? Hollywood Reporter is another one.
Okay, yeah.
Billboard magazine, I have a subscription to that, so I gotta stay up on.
And Billboard Pro is
Billboard Pro
is where you really gonna see the stuff. Facts. Yeah, you gotta pay for it, y'all.
And I go to a lot of networking events and a lot of conferences. I go to business conferences and music conferences. If I'm not speaking at it, I'm still going. You know what I'm saying? Because like I want to know what the heck is going on.
Yeah.
You know, and it's always good to learn from other people too that's been in the game. Because like I just did an event with Jermaine Dupri, and I'm like, man, you know, and sometimes you I used to get that imposter syndrome, and I'm like, well, you know what God said,
exactly.
If I'm here, God got me here for a reason. So
they people too.
Exactly.
They people too. So let's talk about that a little bit. Like people you've encountered. Is there someone you met and you were like starstruck? Or like, what would have been some of your favorite memories of meeting celebrities? Because we know some of them are not always pleasant to meet, but would have been some pleasant ones where you was like, okay, they was a cool person.
Yeah, Calvin Simon, he was almost like a father figure to me. Me and him was cool all the way up until the day he died, and I ended up helping him, managing some things for him. You know, and it was just cool just to learn some of the stories about how he brought Bootsy Collins to the table.
Damn.
You know, and he was working with James Brown before that. I had no idea that Bootsy was. I was like, wow.
I could have been a fly on the wall, baby.
Yeah.
To hear that, ooh, I'm sure it was wild.
It was.
Oh, I'm sure that was wild.
Yeah.
That was before social media.
Yeah.
Listen, we was wild, y'all, before social media. It just wasn't on social media. It wasn't documented. Because our kids be thinking we lame, and I was like, baby.
Yeah, you did.
Your mama was wild before you got here, okay? It just was not on social media.
Square business. Everything was kept under the rug.
Right,
you know?
right. So, I mean, is there someone you have met that you've been starstruck, or because you said because that is hard. Like, how do you fight that imposter syndrome? Because like somebody like Jermaine Dupri, like he's definitely heavy. Like he been in the game since he was a kid.
Yeah.
So that's
I think it was I forgot what artist told me this, but it was one artist that told me, he was like, bro, he was like, man, you wouldn't even be here if you wouldn't belong here.
Yeah, that's
so he was like, man, take your seat, King.
Right.
And I was like, okay, cool. It was Waka.
Oh, I love it.
Waka. Yeah.
And shout out to his mom.
Yeah.
She another one who are tighten and getting the business together.
She is.
Yeah.
She all cold with it.
Yeah. Shout out to his mom. I love that. And
Yep.
what's that? God prepares, calls to prepare it, or what is this? God chooses to prepare it or calls you or something like that.
Yeah.
It's the saying. Yeah, it's like he prepares the call or he calls you to what you need to be doing, and
Yep.
so that's what we gotta believe.
Yeah,
We definitely gotta
and
believe
that's
that.
the thing too. Like the opportunities will come when you come prepared.
Mhm,
When you
mhm.
prepared, that equates it to the right place at the right time because you're prepared this
Mm.
time around. The other times I may not have been prepared for that room. But I was prepared though.
Church.
Church.
That's the church. I love that. I love that. What made you start doing the church?
My
Yeah.
uncle, Don Magic Wine.
For
The
real,
bishop.
Bishop Don Juan, for real.
He ain't my uncle for real. I just call him
He
uncle.
everybody uncle though. He is though.
Yeah, but I
In a
met
way.
him in Cali, and I'm originally from Chicago, so I knew him from
Okay.
Chicago, but yeah, he's not my real uncle, but
Shout
yeah,
out.
that's where I got it from.
I
Don
love
Magic Wine.
Chicago. I was just there at the beginning of the month, or the end of May, and Chicago is always a vibe. And that food is so good.
Yeah.
Chicago, the
Yep.
foodie in me,
Yep.
Lord.
Yeah.
So let's go into the next clip, and this is something that shoot they just settled Prince's estate. This is kind of similar to what you were talking about, and Prince been dead about what 6-7 years,
7 years,
about 7 years, and
yeah.
So let's go into how when someone is deceased, how we gotta fight for their stuff, and really this is just a lesson too, even not even just a music business, but just in real life, y'all. How the estate planning is so essential.
It is.
It's so, and you don't have to be rich. You don't have to be rich to do estate planning. So that's something a lot of Black folks be like, I ain't got no money for that, and it's like you need to get shit in order because you end up having to. Oh no, you don't actually. Let's go to the Waka Flocka one. Thank you, Joe. Let's go to that Waka Flocka one before we go to the deceased catalog. He like, I already got this up. So okay, let's so we go back to the Waka Flocka. I appreciate you, Joe. Joe know I'll be all over the place. Bless you, Joe, for dealing with. Thank you, Joe. All right, so we can go to this Waka Flocka clip here, then we'll discuss. I think he was talking about how he made sure his deal.
I ain't been assigned to Warner Brothers since fucking 2013. But these niggas got me in a slave contract of 360. This when I was knowledgeable. I never want to fuck with YouTube for the fact that they ran my page. I couldn't even run ads on my shit, get money on my shit, nothing, because they got it. Some niggas was hindering me from growing as an artist. That's what made me go to EDM and this, that, and the third. To this day, I'm fighting. Like, I'm definitely about to try to sue him right now. Like, I ain't even want to do that. It's just point like, yo, my nigga, I don't even want that kind of energy. I'm not putting no music out. I'm not doing nothing. Why the fuck do y'all got my music? I did a deal with Warner Chapel as well, a pub deal. I had a commitment deal. That's like a slave deal. I ain't been a...
Okay, so that one thing he said 360 deal.
Mm-hmm.
Explain that.
Okay, so a 360 deal mean they getting a piece of everything. If you start acting, they controlling your social media. They're
so even if I'm a singer though, and I decide to be on a TV show or a movie,
they get a piece of that, everything, merchandise, all of that, touring, everything. That's a 360. I mean, everything comes all back.
So do you recommend against that?
It all depends, because you can make it worth your while. You know what I mean? So it's all about. I'm not. A lot of people think I'm against record labels. I'm not. I'm against artists depending on a record label. Because if it's ways that you could leverage a record label, because it's just like getting a line of credit. You know, that's why I teach them to have that business sense. So now if you come in there and you got your own business and your business, you got some business credit, you don't really need that money, but you need some extra money to leverage on. So like if you want to, so like say like Boosie, he real good with that. Like what he'll do is he invest in real estate, he invest in different companies, different things like that. Like a lot of people be thinking these cats is not is dumb and stuff, but they be smart than the mug. Like even Waka. Brilliant, man.
I know with the mama he got, you better.
Yeah.
And his mom's name is escaping me. Lord, forgive me. Deb. Yeah, Fentany. Is it yeah, Deb. Yes. Antony. Lord forgive me. Shout out to Auntie Deb. But you can tell she schooled him.
Yeah.
And that's good.
Yep.
You gotta have somebody watching your back, because it's like we get so caught up. So how have
I mean to cut you off, but like even with that deal, like Gucci Man, you know what I'm saying? you really couldn't even blame Gucci or get mad at Gucci for that because Gucci didn't know at the time either.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? And so it's like he was learning, Waka was learning, and then but Waka picked up on the business quicker. So he was just like, hey, this what I'm gonna do. Boom, boom, boom.
Mhm.
He's seen a lot.
Yeah.
Yep.
And so for you, how do you approach, how do you decide that you're going to take on a client? How do you know it's going to be a good fit? Because it's like I find myself, I have to interview clients in order to determine if we're going to be a good fit.
Yeah, I tell you what,
I'm sure they're interviewing me as well.
Yeah, I don't want no more referrals. Huh? I'm good.
Really? I mean, I find referrals are like the best, like word of mouth. Lord, okay.
The best referral I ever had was Beth.
Okay. Everybody else, you like, no. So what do you go seek? So how do you get your people? How do you get your clients? You go seek them out, or what?
No, yeah, it's kind of like a mutual situation to where it's like I look at their work ethic and I look at to see if they want to be famous or do they really want to do this.
Mm-hmm.
Because like when you start dealing with an artist that just want to be famous, they do any and everything and then they don't listen. And then you trying to coach them and like showing them like they could be a millionaire by the time about 5-10 years from now, but they don't want to listen. They want to be a they want to listen to all of this chatter, all this noise that's in their ear instead of the goals that we set. Because like when I sign an artist, I set up a round table. We set up there and we make goals. Like, what's your 5-year goal? What's your 10-year goal?
Right.
And then we stick to that plan. You know what I'm saying? It may be slow, but slow is better than moving fast. Cause like we so scared to slow down.
Right.
Because
It's a process. It's a process.
Yeah.
That's why I have to explain to people when they were like, oh, I need a PR, I need a publicist.
Yeah.
It's a process. Just know it's not immediate. It's not a product. It's a process. It's not like you going to Kroger and buying some bread and milk and that's it. It's a whole process to making the bread and the milk. Okay.
Yep.
It's a whole process to that.
Mm-hmm.
So it's definitely some patience. Cause people are hard headed and then it's like I'm trying to help you for your greater good.
Your greater good. Exactly. And then they go off of then they start having business ADHD. Like this ain't working. So it's like, okay, I gotta go do this. I gotta go do that. I gotta go do this. I gotta do that. Now you unstable and now you all over the place. We off track, we off plan, but then I'm the one to get blamed for your downfall. You know,
so wait a minute, you don't. Okay, so how do you suggest they diversify their money though? Because we know music is not always gonna, just like an athlete, you need to be. And Magic Johnson is the perfect example. Look, I'm about to open up all these different things. To generate more income. So how do you?
But see, that's the thing. You got to stick to one thing long enough to build some capital off of, and then you take that money. That's what. Remember, I went back to those 5 bank accounts. Now you got some capital in there that you could do this, and then you getting your personal credit together. Even if you got to get a job to get your personal credit together, you get $100,000 in business credit. Okay, now we got a budget that we can start budgeting different things out with. So okay, we're gonna take maybe 20,000 of that and we're gonna invest it. So that's how that plays out. They the things that you don't see behind the scenes, like with T.I. and all of them, these cats be having like big lines of business credit. And then they have like some of these record deals that they get, they'll go to like the highest bidder and be like, okay, boom. All right. And even with their catalog, that's why it's so important to pour into your catalog, because your catalog could be worth some money to where like I invest in music catalogs. So
what do you mean invest? Like, what do you mean? That's like all of your songs?
It's not all of them. It could be like one song that you want to put up on like a royalty exchange. And what they do is they do an audit on it to see how much it's worth and see how much you've been bringing in for the last 5 years or 2 years. And then they'll say, okay, we're going to set a bid for this. So that song may be $10,000. So, okay, I invest in that song, $10,000. So that $10,000 goes into advance to whatever that artist or writer is. You know what I'm saying? And I'll have like maybe 7 years that I could, gain to get my money back off of it as well, too. So it's almost kind of like a stock thing, too. So,
okay.
So you just want to make your music valuable. So like, even if an investor come in, you're like, okay, this may be some money that I need to play with. Cause like Jay-Z even had one of his songs. I tried to get one of his, but that junk went up to like, I think 275,000. And I was like, yeah, no, I'm not doing that one.
Wait a minute. So you could buy the song?
You could buy the rights for a certain amount of time, or you could do it for a lifetime.
Is that similar to like with Michael Jackson when he bought the Beatles catalog?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And so what is this when people say, "Oh, I got my masters"?
When they say they got their masters, that's just pretty much meaning they got rights to be able to do whatever they want to with that master. It's not locked down to no record label. They could go and redo it. They could actually redo it 7 years after their contract. You know what I'm saying? So if you remaster it, but when you had your original masters back, you could take that and be like, okay, I'm about to release it on DistroKid or TuneCore. I could do my own thing with it. That's what that means when they got it back.
I love that. I love that.
I don't mean to go back.
No, go back. Go back. Yeah.
There was another two referrals. Kima and her daughter as well too. Them was the dopest referrals too.
Okay,
well.
Kima from Total.
From Total, yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Yes. Aren't they on that Queens of R&B?
Yeah.
Tour now?
Yes, Total is.
Total. Come on, Total. They one of my faves.
Yeah.
Come on, Total. Love that. I still got them CDs. Listen.
Yeah.
I love it. So what would you say in the past 12 to 18 months? What achievement what achievement by your organization, your company, Benjamin Entertainment Group, within the past 18 months, or even a recent development that you would like to highlight? Something that you like, oh, this was a big win.
Sure. I'll say one of my artists ended up getting approved for I think $100,000 in line of credit, and then she was able to invest and start her company. You know what I'm saying? So that's where we start getting everything situated to where you can start diversifying that money.
Yeah. And so who gives out business credit? Is it banks that give out? Is it special entities that give out business credit?
It's that's the beauty of it. It could be a bank, it could be your credit union, it could be some grants. You can get grants. They got grants just for entertainment.
Oh.
You know what I mean? So it's a lot for women-owned businesses. You're a women-owned if you're a woman that's an artist and you own that company, that's a grant right there that you can get. You're helping the community because you're servicing the community with your music.
Love it.
It's all kind of ways for it.
Interesting. I love it. Let's go into that last clip, Joe. And this is no, not that one. Even though shout out to TT, but we're gonna the deceased one. Yeah. So this is part one. So I guess it's a part two coming to this one. Okay. Maybe you can share a little bit of part two with us.
Last will and testament or trust documents. Just go to BMI, ASCAP, or CSAC, fill out the estate questionnaire.
Okay, so this is for people, if someone passed away, they need to do this after the person dies. So does it have to be the executor of their estate, or can it be a family member? Who needs to go there and do that?
Whoever has the either if it's a power of attorney or if it's a that's why it's so good to have a trust too. Because like your trust to tell you okay, this is supposed to be going on and how it's dispersed and everything. But if you don't have a trust,
that's a specific type of account.
No,
a trust.
A trust is a whole entity thing that's set up because like there's revocable and then there's irrevocable. It's a whole situation. You have to sit down with an attorney to get all that. Because I just let them do that.
Yeah, shout out to Jahan from Gibson, from Great Lakes Legal Group. By the way, I'm sure she knows about. She can educate about that. Okay.
Yeah, but if you have the death certificate, the will. That's why it's important for us Black people, man. We got to have a will, got to get our estate planning together because, like, our children are not going to be able to access any of this stuff, and you don't want the courts deciding. You know what I'm saying? Because, like, the crazy thing is like, I'm even dealing with that with my mom when she passed away. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I'm a living witness of like, and it's been 3 years now, and we still going to court over tax money, you know what I'm saying, all kind of stuff. So it's like, man, you definitely want to have a will. You want to have everything in order. Have the death certificate, and then fill that form out, and then you should be able to get access to get that transfer of rights over to you, and then you could do the same thing and transfer the rights over to your children, because the music is gonna outlive you. So you just keep on transferring that wealth, and have somebody in the family that's gonna kind of learn about the copyright and stuff, kind of like how Isaac Hayes' son.
Yes,
Man, he's so dope.
Shout out to him.
Yeah.
Yes, and I keep thinking of these different examples. You saying leave it for the children. It was reminding me of what Nas did with his daughter.
Yeah,
Well, how he put some
executive producer.
Yeah, he puts and how Beyonce had Blue put the credits on
Yeah. So they always get a piece of that master. Like even DJ Khaled got it. His son is the executive producer on there.
I love
so
it.
He'll
So
always get money.
So they don't have to be over 18. It could be anyone.
Yeah, it could be anyone. And even with BMI, you could get like a you can get some kind of it's some kind of form that you could use if they're under 18.
Okay.
And they get the royalties. Yep.
I love that. So what would you say, and we gotta wrap it up. Dang, already. What would you say is the biggest issue facing music now?
Biggest issue facing music now is this doggone internet. It's interwebs. God dang interwebs. Spotify. All of this bull.
Oh Lord.
So like I would say like all of these YouTube beats and beat stars and leasing beats and all that stuff, it's messed the game up so bad to where like all these artists think it's somebody scamming them when a producer says, okay, I get 50% of this because I created the music, you created the lyrics, so it's 50-50. They saying, no, that's a scam. If I had to pay for the beat, blah, 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 why should he be getting some of my publishing? Because he created the music.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Wait a minute. Let's go. Leasing beats?
Leasing beats. And you
what does that mean? What does that mean?
Leasing beats.
I ain't never heard of that.
Yeah, they got these they got this thing where they leasing beats, and then like the artists are putting them out, and then they go viral. They try to get synced, and then they can't even do nothing with it because they don't own the beat. And then it's like 25,000 other people that got that same beat because they're leasing it to them.
They didn't register it. They didn't go through the process.
No, they're actually leasing it. So it's like say you got some music.
Renting a beat. You
That's
renting a beat though?
Renting a beat.
How you?
And
that don't sound right.
You ain't the only one with it.
That ain't.
And then they tell you that you get exclusive
Where's
rights.
the integrity? Ain't no integrity.
I don't know, man.
And that's why you say the internet, because
and then it's making everybody think that this stuff, like everybody wants their year 3 to be somebody else's year 15.
Ooh.
That's structured. You know what I'm saying? And you in year 3 unstructured. So it's like, man, it is the internet just really effing up everything.
So because that was gonna be my other question. Like, do you think social media has in a way helped or harmed the industry?
Yeah,
I mean, it's a gift and a curse. I see.
It's a gift.
It's helped, but it's hurt in some ways too.
What social media has done is it's caused attention to be a new drug. So it's like everybody wants to be famous, but they don't understand you could be internet famous, but that don't mean nothing.
Exactly.
You could be internet famous and don't have a dime in your pocket.
Right.
You know, but they be smiling and cheesing like they do, and I didn't seen it.
Right. All on TikTok. Yeah. Right. And it's and my issue is my those who really have the talent do not get the due that they deserve. That's my frustration.
Yeah.
A lot of times. Like people who actually are putting in the work and who are actually the artistry, there's really something behind the artistry that gets overshadowed by all this glitz and glam. That's what gets me at times.
And you know why though?
And I'll be like, y'all just making anybody famous these days, right?
Yep. And you know what? They can't be manipulated. That's why they get held back so much. But it's better to do it slow and correctly than to do it fast. Because like I was saying earlier, like everybody wants everything fast, but you know, you're so scared to slow down because you're gonna see everything that you're missing. You're gonna see all the stuff that you need to do, and it's actually work. So
it's a marathon, not a sprint.
It's a marathon.
So I really appreciate it, Courtney. I always learn so much from you, and I appreciate us working together, and we family. I really appreciate you. He flew in town, y'all, to be on the show. By the way, I know you probably got some other stuff that you're doing. No. But I was like, Courtney, we could be on StreamYard. He was like, no, I'm gonna fly in. I'm like, listen, let's go. That's how that's
yeah.
that big Aries energy. We be
Yeah,
like,
man.
listen, I need to be in person. So
Yeah,
I
yeah.
appreciate you. So I want to end with my five favorites.
Okay.
This is my I like to end with five favorites. So
Mhm.
what is your favorite part of your job?
Favorite part of my job is helping serving artists and songwriters.
Okay. Favorite food?
Favorite food, Chinese.
Hey, I ain't no Chinese in a while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just had some yesterday.
That sounds good. That sounds good. Some shrimp egg foo young sound real good right now. Favorite travel destination?
Favorite travel destination, I'll say Dubai.
Oh my goodness. Oh, I need to go there. I love it. That's definitely on the list. Okay. Favorite artist?
My favorite artist is
I know that's hard. It's so many.
I'll say my favorite artist is I don't know, man.
I know it's so hard.
Many, man. I'm just gonna go with them thugs, man. Boom.
Oh my
Busy.
God. Boom, boom,
Yeah.
boom. Listen. Oh my God. Shout out to Bone Thugs and Harmony.
Yeah.
I love it. I love you. Can make me pull out that. You can make me pull out that CD when I I was listening to the Chronic earlier, y'all. The Chronic.
Okay.
I was in the car like, man, 92 seemed so far yet so yesterday.
Yeah.
I'm sitting there listening to that like, Lord. Okay. What is your favorite accessory?
My favorite accessory is watch.
Your watch. I see. Put the watch.
Yeah.
Is it a Rollie? I mean, it
No,
look
it ain't no Rollie. It's
but it's-
Invicta. I'm addicted to them.
Uh.
Invictus, oh man.
Invictus.
Invicta,
Yeah, that's banging.
Thank you.
I was looking at it. I mean, do we got some knives come out of there? What else is in that watch? That look like a James Bond watch. That shit look
Yeah.
like it can do like 8 different things
Yeah, make me
besides
teleport and
tell
everything.
time, all of that. Like you
Yeah.
could just zip yourself to another dimension with that shit.
Uh,
I love it. You know we got to be
yeah.
silly.
Oh,
But
yeah.
I appreciate everyone for watching. Thank
Yeah.
you again, Courtney,
problem,
for
no
coming. I
problem.
really appreciate you, and I look forward to us working together.
Yeah.
Please know whatever you need. I mean, you already know.
Yeah.
Y'all got me in y'all back pocket. You know,
For sure.
Beth know I love her.
Yeah.
Straight, just adore her. I love everything that you do, and I love how you just keep her together and keep the other artists together, and how you just educate people. Now you just be dropping knowledge. I'm like, Courtney, these folks don't know. Y'all need to follow him.
Yeah.
Follow Courtney. So where can people find you, Courtney?
They can find me on Instagram at Courtney Benjamin Music, and CourtneyBenjamin.comey.io is like all of the resources, everything you need to know, and BenjaminENTGroup.com.
For sure. Y'all make sure y'all follow Courtney. Seriously. So
Yeah.
thank you again, Courtney. I appreciate
Thank you.
Thank you to everyone watching. Next week we'll be back with recording artist Deep and also Damon Fletcher as Black Music Month continues. So thanks again for watching Rocki's Reality.
Church.